I beat out a crowd of talented players for the WNBA, but I am not even a woman. I admitted my real identity to my agent. My agent completely broke down, but my contract with the women's team was already filed. He had no choice but to cover for me. Then came the day of my first game, but the alarm jolted me awake at 6:30. I looked at the clock and realized I overslept, but I did not grab my normal clothes. I grabbed the women's dress off the wall instead. Then I snatched up the wig too, but hiding that I was a man took far more. So I quickly strapped on the padding, but there was no time to do makeup at home. I had no choice but to take my beat-up convertible. I fixed my makeup while racing down the road, but a metal pole dragged and scraped the ground. The spark caught a cop's attention fast. I wanted to get out of there quick, but the cop was already chasing me on his bike. But as the white cop walked up, I started to panic, because one close look would expose my disguise. But I forced out a quick smile. Then I kept telling him he looked like Mel Gibson. I thought that would get me off the hook, but the cop asked why I was speeding. I quickly lied that my speedometer was broken. Then he asked for my license and I froze, because the license listed me as a man, and the photo showed my real face too, so I lied that it was in my other Mercedes. But the cop did not believe a word. He said no license meant he would tow the car, so I had no choice but to hand it over. But the cop still saw the man's photo on it. He immediately grew suspicious of who I was. I had no choice but to admit it was me, but he could not believe this woman was once a man, so I told him I just had gender surgery. But he immediately ordered me out of the car. I thought he had seen through the whole lie, so I forced myself to step out, but the cop made me spin around in front of him. I reluctantly showed off my disguise, but the cop looked me over and loved it, because he actually wanted the same surgery. He had even picked out clothes for afterward. I finally let out a breath of relief, but I wanted to kill his last bit of doubt. I quickly told him he would look gorgeous after. The cop dropped the questions about who I was. He did not even write me a speeding ticket. My disguise nearly fell apart right there, but I joined the Charlotte Banshees as Joanna. The dress put me back on the court, but it also brought me bigger trouble. My skills made me a women's basketball star fast, but the news suddenly exposed my secret. Everyone learned their favorite player was a fake. It had been me, a man in disguise. I wanted to explain myself to my old teammates, but one player called me a total creep. Another teammate did not blame me, but she refused to say anything at all. I had not recovered from being exposed, but the Banshees fired me on the spot. The team even suspected I faked being a woman. They thought I did it to get near the players. All I wanted was to play basketball again, but now everyone saw me as a liar. I had no choice but to hide in my room. Then I pulled a blanket over my whole body, but that did nothing to escape reality. Mom walked in and yanked the blanket off. I thought she would comfort me, but she saw the messy room and started scolding, because while I was hiding at home, the Banshees ran into trouble too. The playoffs had reached the biggest moment, but without me they could not stop the Phoenix Nets. The Banshees were on the edge of elimination, but I could not sit home and watch them lose, so I pushed open the locker room door.